Gary Stevenson is, from my knowledge, a wealthy man that came from a quite a normal background, if you will. And in his own words, he is wealthy enough to quit his job and start up a YouTube channel. Again, I don't think he's mega rich, but he's wealthy enough to do whatever he wants to do, basically. And what he has been doing for, I think, quite a big old time now is trying to tax the mega rich people, to sort of balance out our economy and the growth at which it happens, and things, so loads of things that I don't understand. But at the core of it, to tax rich people, which I kind of get. I mean, great. I mean, tax the rich, great. I think there was a few things he put on which made me understand a few things. One of them was the rate in which a rich person grows their wealth is it's just astronomical. Have no word what that is. A huge amount compared to the average Joe, right? That owns maybe a calf, or they're a plumber, or they clean windows for it and whatnot. The growth on a rich person is just crazy. It's unfair, right? It's like a snowball, right? And everyone's up here with their few little flakes of snow, and they're trying to get it to go, whilst you have this person over here with a massive amount, and they're just growing like a massive ton. The person interviewing him on the interview that I saw was kind of unfair on a few things, and one of them was, oh, okay, so do you think less millionaires would be good for the UK? And I don't think that's what he's saying, but what the interview was putting across is, if you tax the rich people, they will just leave. Yeah, I guess, but there are ways around it and things we could put in place that would, slow that down or stop it entirely. Leaving tax would be a great one. I don't know how they implement that, what they do, but it sounds good. Also, there is loads of assets that a lot of rich people have that's in the UK. They're not just going to leave it and just, those things are still going to get taxed whether they leave or not. Anyway, I have no clue about how tax works. I'm assuming there's a lot of loopholes and a lot of things that can get past people that have a lot of power and that are intelligent enough to gather as much money as they have to keep that money. But I would like to take a different standpoint. I guess it's more for the future. But I don't think that rich people should be taxed out of their asses. Like, I think sometimes it could be seen as unfair. At the same time, I definitely can understand it as well. But I think, personally, can we blame rich people for wanting to be rich, right? Because, let's be real, if majority of people was given that snowball to start with, they would throw it down the hill to gather up more money, right? Most people would. Of course, not all, but most. And I really think that there should be a wall, that there should be a limit on how much you can earn, how much you can keep. Because I think that's the big problem. The people that have so much money, they're never going to see it in their lifetime. And they just have it sitting there. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. It doesn't feed. It just doesn't do anything. It just sits there in someone's bank. I think that's the problem. I don't know how we would go about this, because I guess there'd be so many loopholes. Okay, you can't, owe, 1 million, over 1 million. Okay, well, I have shares, but I don't own them, I guess, because the stock price is or what it is. Okay, cool. Alright, we'll stop that. Alright, well, now I have a company, and my company is worth 20 million, but I'm not worth 20 million. Okay, alright, cool. And then you can have, oh, but my family all own 1 mil, it's not my money. I feel like there'd just be loopholes for anything, right? And I think it takes a few wealthy people that have maybe done certain loopholes, that maybe have had a different, a switch of their views on it, to stick up for the poor people, right? For the people that are less wealthy. for anything to change, because the reality is, no matter what tax we put in, no matter what limit, no matter what thingy, as Gary Stevenson said, most rich people are some of the most powerful. They have connections, they can slip an envelope wherever they like, and you know, anything that they want a lot of the times gets approved, or they get their way. And so you're sort of working against bullshittery, because no matter what you do, they're going to work around it. And it takes a few wealthy people that have done the same thing, or maybe have been in the same circles, to stand up and go, this ain't right, and we need to stop this. I think that Gary Stevenson is not one of those people, personally. I think he's wealthy, but I don't think he's wealthy of the people that he's trying to tax or bring down, if you will. But it is a very good start, and I kind of applaud him for sticking up for the smaller people, you know, because I would assume that if he ever got any traction, because I don't think he does. I think if he ever got traction and people started to understand and listen as much as they probably should, that it would put a target on his back. I think it really would. And it's the difference of whether he carries on doing what he does with the target on his back from very, very wealthy and powerful people. To clarify, I don't think rich people are some evil thing, but I think the system put in place can be very unfair at times, and I think that someone reaches a certain status or wealth in UK or capitalist societies can snowball to a point where it's kind of unfair, you know. It's definitely a lot easier when you get up to a certain point, right? It's like a big mountain, and once you get to the top, it's a nice old breeze quite down, and I think a lot of people I don't think a lot of people understand that, actually, that there is a big climb. There is a big climb, but once you're at that climb, that becomes so easy. You can make money. If you have status or influence, money, like, after that, man, jeez. I've seen certain YouTubers hang on by a thread just because they had a little bit of influence at one point, and they hang on to it, and somehow they just keep cruising with making money and making, making dumb decisions after dumb decisions, and yet they just bounce back constantly because at one point they had a little influence. But it's that ride down the hill, I believe, that is very easy once you get up. I don't know if that should be the way. What do I know? I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.